the Cottonwood County Citizen proudly presents Athlete of the Week. Brought to you this week by our hometown cafe in Mountain Lake, offering tasty homemade foods to dine in or take out. A great place to meet for a meal or coffee with family and friends. Enjoy our lunch buffet Monday through Friday from 11 to 1. That's our hometown cafe in downtown Mountain Lake. And I am joined right now by Mountain Lake area senior Liana Blomgren, our athlete of the week this week. Congratulations, Liana.
Thank you.
Tell me about the section meet yesterday. First off, the pace was just grueling. You know, and it's a tough course. It's the one big hill right at the end. I imagine that the mindset going into that was that the course is challenging, but the competition is even more challenging.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me about the pace for you.
Well, my goal was to stay with a couple people from different teams, and I tried that for the first mile, and my first mile was way faster than I anticipated it to be. So I really felt that the rest of the race, and I really felt dead for the second and third miles, which wasn't something that I was hoping for at all.
And as the race goes on, I figured you were probably in about the top 25 or so. Does that get into your mind at all? That I'm probably not going to qualify for the state meet, but I want to finish all section.
Yeah, for sure. Qualifying for the state meet wasn't one of my first and foremost goals per se, but it was definitely something in the back of my mind. And I've been running pretty well this season, so it was a hope of mine to just continue. My senior year, I wanted to put another week on to the end of the season, but I was not anywhere near the place that I needed to be to accomplish that. So I still wanted to get all section, but I think I was in 30th or so coming towards the finish, so I knew that it wasn't going to happen.
And then about 100 meters from the finish, things kind of changed.
Yeah.
Where did you actually see Gracie from Wyndham go down?
No. When I saw her, she was just trying to get back up.
Okay. And this was right after the big hill. On the one hand, you're that close to the finish line, but what's the thought process when you see a fellow competitor on the ground?
Honestly, I really wasn't thinking at that point. I don't remember consciously making the decision to help her up. It just happened. So, yeah. How many girls were around at that time? I'm kind of curious. I don't know. There was probably 3 or 4 that I could see in front of me that were just about to cross the finish line, and then there was her. And I guess I'm not really sure.
How far away exactly from the finish were you?
I don't know. It's hard to take a guess. Probably 20 to 30 meters if I had to.
Okay. And you mentioned that the thought process just kind of goes out the window at that point.
Yeah.
Tell me about just the thought of this girl needs help. I got to help her. That's, I imagine, something that as a runner, if it were you, you'd probably feel the same way, I imagine. But at that time, it's kind of instinct, isn't it?
Yeah, it was for sure. It just felt like the right thing to do.
Obviously, you know the rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because and in this instance happened with I believe Jessica Christopher from JCC a couple years ago at the state meet. Same kind of deal. But I imagine that as a senior, that's the kind of legacy that you would want to leave, correct?
Yeah.
You've been at the state meet before.
Mm-hmm.
tell me about, I guess officially it goes as a disqualification, but it means more than that, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, being in 30th place at the section meet, it's not really going to get me anywhere place-wise. It's not all section. It's definitely not good enough to move on to state. And helping her was so much more important to me than a place at that time. It just felt like that should be the end to my season rather than a place and a time.
The dynamic of your team this year was really different than anything that you've experienced before, because your team had a bunch of seniors,
Yep.
but at the end of the season at the section meet, it was you and it was a lot of junior high girls.
Yes.
Tell me about that dynamic, and I imagine that this last act of leadership and really selflessness really is the kind of message, the ultimate message that you want to send to those girls.
Right. Well, for me, cross country is so much different than other sports. Like in basketball, and whatever other sport that you're playing, you don't really help out your competitors. But cross country is so different. Every single meet, I see people waiting at the end of the finish line, giving high fives to people that they've never met before. And I just wanted the younger girls on my team to realize that, because that's so much what I love about this sport, is how much people care for other people, even though they're the competitors. So I want the younger girls to realize that and stay true to that.
I imagine that when you were a younger runner, that was the example that some of the older girls on the team, set for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a little bit different the last couple of years because your dad's been the head coach.
Yeah.
But I imagine that even Coach Nelson before him, it's about being a good person first and then being a good runner second.
Yeah. And my coaches and my parents have always taught me that, you come second, the other people should come before you do. Like the needs of others should be put before the needs of yourself.
And that's quite a legacy to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you go forward, basketball starts in a couple weeks, and then of course you run track in the spring. What do you take out of this last experience in cross country and apply it to those sports?
Sportsmanship for sure. I know personally I don't like playing against teams in basketball that are bad sports. It's so much more fun for me to play against people and to race against people who are good sports. So I guess that's just kind of what I take out of this. Yeah, yesterday for sure was high. Another really memorable moment for me was in 8th grade when I qualified for the state meet with my big brother Kyle. It was just an amazing moment for me and something that I didn't really anticipate at the time. And just being able to run up at state with him really, because it was his senior year that year, just really put a close on me for him as a senior. Oh boy. Hallelujah by Pentatonics. Definitely the most focused and determined opponent, because one thing that I've learned in sports is focus and determination can get you so much farther than talent. And when you're playing against somebody who really, really, really is focused and on beating you, it gets to your mental, it gets to your mind, they get to your head. There we go. Okay, and it's just a lot harder to play against them. Definitely warming up on the course. Between Karen and I, we're definitely the weird ones. We bring a lot of character to the bunch. Yeah, we like to goof around sometimes. I really enjoy hanging out with friends, watching movies, listening to music, just relaxing.
And you're a senior this year. What does the future hold for you?
Right now I'm looking into physical therapy, so I guess I haven't decided what school I'm going to, but I think that's going to be the major that I end up picking.
Yeah, well, that should be all I need from you. Congratulations again, and thank you for joining us.
All right, thank you.
Brought to you this week by our hometown cafe in Mountain Lake. offering tasty homemade foods to dine in or take out. A great place to meet for a meal or coffee with family and friends. Enjoy our lunch buffet Monday through Friday from 11 to 1. That's Our Hometown Cafe in downtown Mountain Lake.